Hello everyone, this is Dark House. Welcome to my home of misery and despair. With that being said, let's move on to a short story, shall we? If you enjoy your stay, tell your friends. This dark house could use some more victims. Now, on to The Whispering Shadows. Sarah had always been drawn to old houses. The creak of the floorboards, the musty smell of forgotten rooms, and the feeling of ancient memories lingering in the walls. There was something oddly comforting about it. So when she found an old farmhouse on the outskirts of town for sale, she couldn't resist. It was the perfect project, or so she thought. The first night in the house was quiet, too quiet. The kind of silence that wraps itself around you like a heavy blanket. Sarah sat in the dimly lit living room, the only sound coming from the crackling fireplace. She tried to ignore the feeling that someone was watching her, but the hairs on the back of her neck refused to lie flat. As midnight approached, she heard it, a faint whisper, so soft it was almost imperceptible. She froze, her breath catching in her throat. The whisper seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. She held her breath, waiting. Then it came again, closer this time. Sarah! Her heart skipped a beat. No one was supposed to be here. The house was hers. She was alone. With a shaky hand, she grabbed her flashlight and crept toward the stairs. The whispers grew louder with each step she took, now accompanied by a soft, eerie scratching noise. The hairs on her arms prickled as she reached the top of the stairs where the temperature seemed to drop several degrees. The door at the end of the hallway was ajar, as though inviting her in. Against her better judgment, Sarah stepped forward, each step feeling heavier than the last. She pushed the door open, revealing a bedroom, dusty and covered in cobwebs. But there was something on the bed, a figure, hunched and unmoving. Its skin was pale, almost sickly, and its long tangled hair obscured its face. As she stepped closer, the figure stirred. Its head snapped up, revealing hollow, empty eyes that seemed to stare straight through her. A grin spread across its face, stretching impossibly wide. "You're not alone," it whispered in a voice that sent icy shivers down her spine. The flashlight flickered and died. The room was plunged into darkness. The whispers began again, this time all around her, growing louder and more frantic. "You're not alone. You're not alone." Suddenly, she felt a cold hand wrap around her ankle, pulling her to the floor. She screamed, trying to break free, but the grip only tightened. The last thing she saw before everything went black were the eyes. Those empty, hollow eyes staring down at her from the shadows. In the morning, the house was still. The whispers were gone. But when the new owner arrived to take a look at the place, they found Sarah's flashlight lying at the foot of the stairs, the faintest trace of her handprint smeared on the wall. But there was no sign of Sarah.